Hello and welcome. You know, the first time my neighbour saw me popping a paracetamol for a headache, he looked at me with a sort of pitying contempt. He did not say a word. He just shuffled off into his garden, grubbed about in the dirt for a bit, and came back with a knobbly, angry-looking root. He thrust it into my hand, made a chewing motion, and wandered off. I was offended, but curious. Besides that, right there is your introduction to Isaan's ancient wisdom. It is not found in books. It is thrust into your palm by a man who thinks your modern medicine is a charming, if pathetic, delusion. Right then, settle down, stop fluffing about with the volume and listen. Here is my tale. Right, where to begin? Isaan, Northeast Thailand. To the hurried tourist, it is the poor relation, all rice fields and sticky heat. However, if you stop rustling about for 5 minutes, you will see it. The land is not poor. It is a sprawling open-air chemist, a living pharmacy, as I have come to call it. Every scrubby bush, every gnarled tree, every unassuming weed in the cracked earth has a purpose. It is a knowledge born not from clinical trials, but from centuries of sheer, dogged necessity. When you cannot pop down to the clinic, you get terribly clever with what is lying around. Take this for instance, far to lay yon. Sounds rather poetic, does it not? Looks like any other boring green plant. However, it is the Isaan equivalent of a nuclear strike on the common cold and sore throat. They brew it into a tea so bitter it makes a lemon taste like candy floss. To drink it you shudder, you complain, and by the morning you are miraculously better. It is nature's way of saying, here is your medicine and the punishment for being weak enough to get ill in the first place. Besides, it is not just plants. Oh no, that would be far too straightforward. I was once offered a bottle of Yardong, an herbal type whisky made by infusing medical herbs into lao khao, rice spirit. The chap proudly pointed out the scorpion and the handful of large venomous looking ants seeping in it. For strength, he beamed. I took a curious sip, tasted of fire and regret. Nevertheless, did I feel stronger? Well, I felt brave enough to drink a second one, so perhaps there is something in it. On top of that, this is where it gets interesting, and where you lot with your sanitized pill in a bottle worldview might need to sit down, or clutch your pearls, whichever you prefer. The wisdom is not just about the what, it is about the how. What's more importantly, the who. This knowledge is a fragile living chain passed hand to hand from grandparent to parent to child. I have seen it. My friend's daughter, no more than 8, could identify a dozen medicinal plants on the walk to school. She would point, "Uncle, that one for stomach, and this one for fever." She was not reciting from a textbook, she was reciting her grandmother's voice. It is an oral history written not in ink but in memory and mud. The local healers, the Moya, they do not have degrees on their walls. Their credentials are in the calluses on their hands and the respect in their community's eyes. Moya practitioners diagnose and treat illnesses using herbal remedies and natural substances. An apprenticeship here involves less theory and more digging, pounding and listening. Actually listening. A novel concept, I know. However, to think this is just about herbs is to miss the point entirely. It is like saying a British pub is just about the beer. You are ignoring the ritual, the camaraderie, the sheer theatre of it all. Isaan medicine understands that you cannot always pound a sickness into submission with a root. Some ailments, you see, are not of the body, they are of the spirit. I learned this when my motorbike tyre blew out for no good reason, followed by a truly impressive run of bad luck involving a leaking roof and a gecko falling into my soup. My neighbours nodded sagely. They said, a displeased spirit. The solution was not a pill, it was a ceremony. More fun, a ritual master was summoned. There was chanting, the tying of sacred strings around my wrist, and an offering of rice, bananas, and a rather garishly dressed doll. To the cynical Western mind, it is superstition. Nevertheless, when your luck generally turns around afterwards, you start to wonder. You stop analysing and start accepting. It is a system which treats the invisible wounds, the anxiety, the malaise, and the plain old bad luck, which modern medicine simply waves away as psychosomatic. Here, they actually do something about it. So, what of the future? This is the bit which makes me properly grumpy, that this magnificent complex tapestry of knowledge is fraying at the edges. The young people head to Bangkok for shiny jobs in air-conditioned malls. The siren song of a 7-Eleven and ready-made microwave meal is powerful. Why spend an hour brewing a bitter tea when you can get a colourful capsule for 10 baht? However, and it is a rather significant however, there is a fight back, a quiet, stubborn one. I see young graduates returning, not with disdain, but with digital cameras and notebooks. They are interviewing the elders, creating databases, setting up small community enterprises. They are not rejecting the modern world, they are using its tools to protect the ancient one. They are proving that this wisdom does not have to be a museum piece. It can be a living, breathing, and yes, profitable part of Isaan's future. It just needs someone to value it. I still keep paracetamol in the cupboard. I am not a complete convert. But next to it, I have a jar of Fartele on capsules, now ironically sold in modern health shops, and a small, neatly tied bundle of sacred string from the Marthon, or Morphon. Isaan's ancient wisdom is not about rejecting one well for the other. It is about having the sense to use both. It is a reminder that the land beneath our feet has answers that our ancestors were not fools. And that sometimes the best medicine comes with a good story, a dose of ritual, and the occasional ant floating in your whisky. It is the unshakable belief that for every illness, be it a fever or a streak of bad luck, there is a leaf, a root, a chant, or a ceremony that can set you right. Frankly, in this mad modern world, that is a rather wonderful thing to believe in. Now, if you have managed to listen without dozing off, I'm sure you have thoughts. Do pop them in the comments below. Tell me about an old remedy from your own neck of the woods. What's more, do be kind to each other. It is the best medicine of all, and it does not cost a penny. Right, I am off for a yardong for research purposes, you understand. Take care, and goodbye. Bye-bye.